You shot a foot to the left, I'll be dead.
I wanted you dead, you'd be dead.
What's going on, y'all? It's Liam Crowley with ScreenRant. I'm here with the one and only Mr. David Harbour. David, thanks so much for taking the time today.
Pleasure.
So it's cool to see you in this movie, A Working Man, because it's a different role than what I'm used to seeing you in when it comes to these bigger, grander action movies. You're playing like the mentor in this film. What was it like to kind of build that rapport with Statham, since so much of your character's history happens off screen?
I mean, it was very easy because I had kind of an incredible support team. First of all, it's David Ayer, who's a buddy of mine I've worked with several times, who loves this world, loves the reality of these military guys and what they do, and wants to really pay deep respect to that. So he brought, friends of his and people to weigh in on that side. And then on the other side, there was Jason Statham. And I just am a fan of a good Jason Statham action movie, have been since I was a younger man. And so it's very easy to develop a rapport with a guy who you're just a fan of his work. So yeah, that was pretty easy.
Yeah, I talked with David Ayer a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I think you set the record for most Statham kills in a movie, in A Working Man. It's really remarkable. You mentioned obviously your history with David Ayer. I remember, first seeing you in Suicide Squad back in 2016, smaller role at the beginning of that film. When David gives you the call for a project like this, since you guys do have that connection for now, like nearly a decade, what does that call look like?
Yeah, I mean, he just, calls and is like, I got this, little thing in my movie, and I'm always just happy to support him. I mean, he's a guy, it's funny, like you meet these people throughout your career, and I'd worked with him in End of Watch, like early on, that cop movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, Michael Pena, and, he's one of those guys who believed in me very early, and I think that's, you sort of got to give back to those guys whenever you can, because that's a really affirming thing for a younger actor to have some film director go like, point and go, yeah.
Yeah, I was bummed to not see you throwing many punches in this film because, like I said, you're serving in the mentor role. We won't have to wait long, though. Thunderbolts is coming out in the summer. Yeah. I loved some of the comments we saw recently that this is being described as like an A24 movie, and then the most recent trailer like dived into that, like spotlighting the cinematographers, the composers, and all that kind of stuff. Can you kind of speak to that A24 vibe that Thunderbolts is going to have?
Yeah. I would also like to take it even a step further. I am a Tony nominated David. So, we have theater, we've done off-Broadway plays together. All of us are a bunch of film and theater nerds. I mean, look, Jake is a funny guy, and I think we're all aware of how ridiculous this movie sounded to the Marvel community a year ago when it was presented. Like, these losers, you're going to put them all in a film and like have them run around with no reference to whatever. And then I think that it allowed us a real freedom to do something different. And I think, we really tried to do that. And so, the gratifying thing has been with the trailers coming out. And I think, having seen the movie, I think it's exciting. And I think that it's a sort of shot in the arm for what, what's next for Marvel. Yeah, and it's, full of pretentious Oscar nominees like Florence Pugh. So what are you going to do? We got to highlight that.
Yeah, you got to highlight the
Sebastian Stan. I mean, the credits are insane. The awards, the glitter. It's absolute pure cinema, Liam.
I'm excited. I'm going to catch this one in 70mm IMAX as it's meant to be seen. I say that with sincerity, though, because these action movies, 70mm in New York City, they're truly beautiful. One more question before we get out of here, David. It seems like where this movie ends, there could be room for a sequel. And I feel like, especially with your character specifically, there's reason to get him back in the game with Jason. Is that something you'd like to explore?
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of books. And I think I like the relationship between these two guys. I think, as you say, like this kind of Obi-Wan Kenobi I mean, he's not older, but like this kind of Obi-Wan Kenobi dark mentor of the Force. I mean, he's shooting bows as a blind guy. I mean, there's so much fun to be had in this world that just it doesn't strain credibility. It just heightens it a little bit with what these guys are. And I could see and again, as I say, like I just, love me some Jason Statham. So just give me a call. Let me know where to show up.
Amazing. Lots to look forward to, David. You're a joy to talk to. Hope we get to talk for Thunderbolts later this summer.
Yeah, I hope so too.
You killed your way into this. You're going to have to kill your way out of it.